I've been dragged back into Alan's kitchen because he seems to complain that all his knives are blunt. So
you say.
So I've come in here to try and sort things out. So, Alan, tell me, what sort of thing do you use on your knives?
I just use a standard steel, like you've got there.
Yeah, these are diamond steels. These are just totally different. So let's just have a look at the steel that you've got. Come on then. I haven't got all day. Yeah. So you'll probably all recognise this as being a standard ordinary steel. What an ordinary steel does is purely realigns the edge of a knife. So once, you probably noticed when you got your knives from new, they were really quite nice. And then after a period of time of using something like that, they got progressively blunter. Yeah. The thing is with an ordinary steel, it's realigning the edge. So you start off with a very nice filleting edge so, and suddenly it develops this sort of shape because all the steel is doing is battering around this edge. It is not actually removing material from the knife, whereas a diamond steel is. So my personal opinion is that these sort of things do more damage to knives than good. Much the same as any of those pull-through jobby things that you can get that have got two wheels on. They just make a mess of your knives. So I'm afraid to say, mate.
That's no good.
Yeah, that's going in the bin. So, what I'm going to use on this demonstration is a stainless steel knife, which is regarded as being very, very difficult to sharpen with. So, let's just pick up your gas bill. The whole idea here is that we can get a knife that has got this sort of edge on it, and that is just a joy to work with because a sharp knife is a safe knife. A blunt knife you apply pressure to, and that's when you end up chopping your fingers off. So that is a really nice edge on there, and that's what we want to achieve. So I'm just going to try and chop Alan's... Yeah. I'm just going to try and chop Alan's table in half here. Just blunt that down a bit. Sorry about Alan, but as you can see, that's
things we do for demonstrating sharpness.
Yeah. So that's much like your knives, I would suggest. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on a knife and pretend that it's been used on a traditional steel. So what I would do firstly on this is re-shoulder it to bring it down to this sort of edge down here. So anything that's been used on an ordinary knife will come down very quickly. Blunt?
Yeah.
So we have a 10-inch and a 12-inch steel. I'm going to use the 10-inch. I'm going to use the 10-inch because this particular one is about 7 years old now. And if you feel that, probably the first thing you notice is that is just totally smooth. Yeah. It's not ribbed or anything. But do not be fooled by how smooth that feels. This sharpens very quickly. So, to re-shoulder it, the first thing I would do is keep the steel here, and I come in here on a fairly shallow angle. You want a fairly filleting edge on here. You don't want to be out here. That's more like a boning edge. So the flatter you're working it, the better. And in a very light, circular stroke and motion, all we're going to do is progress down the length of that bevel edge. Now, Alan, can you notice how much pressure I'm putting on that knife?
Very little, by the way. It's not distorting.
Excellent. Nice and light. So I take it down one bevel edge. I turn it over on a fairly shallow angle. I take it down the other bevel edge. Now, very little pressure. Now the thing is that you would only do this motion to your knives once. You only have to re-shoulder your knives once with a diamond steel because we're sorting your knives out. Right. In that space of time, regardless of how fine that feels, that is what I've just taken from the blade. That is the power of cut. Yeah. It's remarkable, really. So now, when we want to put the edge on, the most important thing is you do it softly and slowly. No need to do it quickly, and alternate strokes. So if you do it this way, that is fine. You can do it this way if you want, but be very, very careful of your fingers. I would suggest that that's fairly quite dangerous. If you do want to do it the macho way, as I call it, if you do it this way round, there's nothing wrong with that, apart from you'll probably remove your thumb. But also remember when you're doing the backward stroke not to do that.
Change angle. Which
means that you're coming up here and you're doing that, which that one stroke will take the whole of the edge off. The safest way to do it is to keep it that way and come down one side and the other side. And once you learn how to do it like that, very quickly you'll be able to just literally sharpen your knives like so. Believe it or not, all the fishmongers seem to sharpen that way round. Once you've done that, just try that on. A tomato is a good thing to cut through because it's very difficult to cut through, but you'll find that you can get that edge back very, very quickly. Once you've got that edge back, all you're doing from there is possibly every now and then when you've used the knife.
Simple as that.
And it's as simple as that.
There's a drawer full over there, better get going.
Okay.